Last year, we started Attention for Ascension, and we walked 312 miles from Gary, Indiana to Cleveland, Ohio. This year, we're doing the reverse. We'll walk from Cleveland to Gary to help try to reach and raise some more funds to support the scholars at Ascension. At walk312.com, you will be able to follow the entire journey. We'll be streaming. You can follow, donate, and purchase merchandise. Let's begin.
Off loop. How you doing?
Good. You?
Oh, never mind. I had a technical glitch on this end. All right, start over. How you doing?
How are you? It is day 12. We are 3 miles away from Ascension Lutheran Christian School. We are awaiting the arrival of our Skippy provider, our Skippy supplier. She will do the last 3 miles, and we will meet the rest of you at 49th and Broadway, and we'll walk the last 0.7 miles together. On this day 12, we are excited to share Luke 17:10. And after you have done all that you have been commanded, we should respond, we are unworthy servants. We have only done our duty. And as we just draw to the close of this 312-mile journey, just excited about the invitation that God has extended to all of us in whatever capacity we have participated in this walk, to just be his servants. And I just think about that text in my own journey during this walk, and how often just been unworthy, even in something this humbling, this awesome, and just really realizing that this is how God has prepared us, this is how God has gifted us, and we have the privilege of being able to say we've only done our duty, to embrace that this 312-mile journey this year for us, God had already prepared for us to do in advance on behalf of the scholars and staff at Ascension. And so to just humbly walk in the fact that this is our duty, this is our responsibility, this is our talent that God has given us, in the willingness to humbly just submit and say, here we are, Lord, use us. And so I just thank each and every one of you for being a part of this journey and understanding that God has called you for a time such as this. And so we are preparing to be at Ascension by 1 o'clock. I have been checking the weather, and I just find it just a gentle reminder of God. It's supposed to rain from 1 to 2. And the celebration is supposed to be 1 to 3. How do you handle when it rains on your parade, when it rains on your celebration, when it rains at a point where you think you should be celebrated? Do you have the capacity to remember that this was our duty? This is our opportunity to deny ourselves, take up our cross, and follow our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Is this your moment? Is this your moment to make sure you have on your rain gear and be able to play with the trucks and play in the rain and find that joy? Again, our challenge was, it doesn't matter the weather. It all depends on how you're dressed. Can we still smile in it? Do you still understand that God has used each and every one of us in some very powerful ways over these past 12 days? And so don't let weather taint your ability to have joy, to celebrate. Please understand that even in that moment, that is God's gift to us. And let's not be in that moment unworthy servants. We're only doing our duty. We're only using the capacity. And here's the thing. We're not even going to tap into all of the talent that God has given us today. This is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just a small portion of how God has uniquely gifted each and every one of us. Imagine what happens when we stay in that posture of humility and submission to God and really want to tap into his time and talents for each and every one of us. I thank you all for taking advantage of that donation from the donor of $2,500 and making it 5,000. Just thank each and every one of you for every dollar that has been raised on behalf of the staff and scholars at Ascension. I thank you. I praise God for each and every one of you, for every part that you have prayed, played, donated, followed in this journey. Thank you so very much. And we have built this community once again. Please be reminded that next week, Monday and Tuesday at 8 o'clock, we will stream together. We have 2 miles we need to get back to the trip. And so we'll do 11 miles each day, and I will take you on a tour of the routes we use to train. And so look forward to having that time with you as well next week. We did have a winner for dinner. It was barbecue. And we are going to do something so that Miss Lisa can participate when we get to Ascension. We're going to try to make the Q&A part of this leg of the journey somewhat brief so that she can keep the stream going and drive to Ascension. So I ask you all to be sensitive to that and as we make that transition so that she can be at Ascension. Are there any questions?
I have a feeling a lot of people are getting ready to come and join us at Ascension.
Sure.
It's a little quiet here. Go ahead.
And so at noon, I'll jump back on and we'll just go live and allow everyone to catch the last leg of this journey.
Oh, hold on just a second here.
Okay.
I mean, you know, you're getting stuff real time here. May as well, right? Well, here you go. Here's God at work in the final hour. We just got a donation of, oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. Hold on. I got to check that before I do that.
Okay.
Never mind. So for those who are just jumping on, we have a couple of minutes here if you want to ask Pastor Brian any questions. And I just want to walk through I can speak. This is still so crazy to me. I've been listening to my echo for 2 weeks now. You'd think I would be able to speak. Okay, try that again. For those who are joining us, we're going to take a couple of questions now. And if we don't get any questions, we are going to leave this stream going so that we can continue it when I get to Ascension. So once we are done with Pastor, we are going to play a video of an interview that we did after the last walk with Pastor Brian and Brian, who also walked with him last year. So that'll be playing. And then at noon, maybe earlier, we don't know, but definitely by noon, we will have Pastor rejoin the stream. So that'll be this stream. Yeah, I think that's all I have. Come out and join us at Ascension.
If you would be so kind, because I don't have the figure at this point, if you could share with us what we've been able to raise this time.
So for this walk, as far as I know, I haven't heard anything from Ascension this week, so I don't know if they've gotten any checks in. But as far as what I can count, this walk we have raised $12,214. Wow.
Praise God. Thank you all very much for your love and support. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, that's awesome.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, not seeing any questions, I'll let you get to it.
All right.
I will see you all at noon.
All right. Take care. God bless. We'll see you
God
soon.
bless you. All right. Bye.
All right. Again, for those who might join this stream at this point, we are getting ready to go to Ascension and walk the last mile with Pastor Brian. I am going to head over there myself. So what we are going to do at this point is we are going to leave this stream going because we know that we have a stable connection here at the church. So we're going to keep this stream going. I'm going to start a video that we did, an interview that we did with Pastor Brian and Brian, who walked last year. So that will be playing. I'm going to grab Maisie, who is already waiting by the door for me. I'm going to grab Maisie. We are going to head out, travel to Ascension, and by the time the video with Brian and Brian is done, hopefully I should be very close to Ascension, and we can get this stream back up and lively again. So please come on out if you are in the area and meet us at Ascension. We will meet at 12:30 and then walk to the corner of 49th and Broadway and then head back and have a good celebration with Pastor Brian. So on that note, I'm going to head on out. I'm going to start this video up and I will see you guys soon.
Welcome. Welcome back to our studio. I am your walking pastor, Pastor Brian Reeves. Today we have an opportunity for you all to meet a very special guest, a very special friend of mine, Brian Beard. He is here with us and we will recap our walk from Ascension to Cleveland, Ohio. And we will just spend this time allowing Brian to share with us his journey and his experience on the walk. And thank you for being with us. And more specifically, Brian, thank you for being with us.
It's my pleasure.
So just really, really excited to be in this space. And I want to pause for a second and give a special thank you to the members of Emmanuel and more specifically for the trustees for making this space. But it provides us an opportunity to move our studio off of Route 6 and also still have some space to process and talk about what it means to get attention for Ascension. Because as we shared and as we learned on the walk was not a one-time deal. It was a journey. And so I would like to just spend some time to talk to you about your perspective of the journey and what that was like for you.
Sure.
And so I guess I would love to know from the beginning, what made you want to be a part of this walk, a part of this journey to start?
Well, I think the first thing I remember the day that you came in and you mentioned this or hinted around to it. And to be totally honest, I think there's a couple things that made me want to be part of it. Well, the first thing that grabbed my attention is it's a little bit out of the ordinary to walk 312 miles anywhere. But I mean, I've done similar things, so why not? So I think it was in my wheelhouse as far as fitness and as far as adventure. But I think that as you shared with me about Ascension and the history and the roots and everything, something sparked in me that it's bigger than just you. There's a bigger picture.
Sure.
And that really appealed to me, that there's something bigger than just walking.
Right.
That there's a
right.
future of the scholars involved. That really appealed to me. So.
As you think about something bigger than yourself, what role do you think you played in this part of a journey for the scholars for Ascension, and that bigger picture?
That's a great question.
And if I may, and even in my journey, what role?
Well, here's the thing that I think the Lord has been speaking to me about very clearly, probably in the last year.
Okay.
Sometimes when we have things like this that are coming up, we think that we have to take over the situation and command it. It's been very clear to me, the Lord has been telling me to walk with people.
Okay.
And there's a difference between taking command of it and walking with somebody in their journey. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have it figured out for them. You're just walking in agreement with that person.
Sure.
And I think in my past, I think that maybe I had a personality that sometimes wanted to take over and solve people's problems,
Okay.
when the Lord specifically was saying, walk with them.
Ah.
Don't do it for them, but walk in support. Big difference.
Sure.
Big difference in that. And I think the fact as far as you and I and just our history with training and everything, I guess I believe in you. I see what's down deep in your heart, what you want to do. I see the transformation that's taking place. I see God stretching you. And at the same time, he's stretching me. He's doing the same. So he's kind of working on both of us together, so to speak. So it's kind of neat.
As you talk about the role, I'd like an opportunity to take people a little further behind the scenes, because your role was much more than just walking, and just the intentionality. And if I may be so bold to share, the humility that you took once you realized that God was asking you to walk with me. One of the things, well, the first thing that blew me away is that the day that I shared, you asked, when do we leave? And so just in my own spiritual journey, that's confirmation, because I am a firm believer that all of us are smarter than one of us, and we're not in this alone. And the more people that we can get on board, the easier the journey becomes.
Sure.
And so to have God place that on your heart before we ever took a step was just humbling.
You know what? I guess I assumed when you said that it was we. I didn't know if you were asking or if you were hinting or what it was, but yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
I totally loved it. So.
And I appreciate it. I wish that there was a way that I could communicate how, without even speaking, how God used you to make each of our training sessions and the homework that you gave, so that my entire body was prepared for the walk. It's not just put on your tennis shoes or your boots and go walk. I mean, just even your explanations of the different muscles that will be affected in this, and just making sure that, to the best of our ability, we were prepared and giving God room then to do his super. We give him our natural, and then we will allow you to do the super.
Absolutely. I think preparation is huge. And I think in anything that we do, there has to be an amount of preparation. You can come up with an idea and you can say, wow, hey, let's go do this and that. And you can have that zeal and that passion to do it, and then miss the preparation part and say, hey, this is going to be difficult. So let's go ahead and get that difficult part over with our training. And that carries over with my business too. Whether I'm teaching a class or if I've got another client, I always want them to be prepared. If we're going to do a marathon, if we're going to do whatever the event is, we want to make sure that we're prepared so that when that time comes, you feel comfortable doing it. Or maybe not 100% comfortable, but that you feel adequately prepared for what's about to happen.
The other thing that I appreciated was that you made it very clear that this was my vision. And I am somebody who strongly am sold out to Habakkuk chapter 2, that if you write the vision and make it plain, others will run with it. Others will see it if it's clear enough. And what I need you all to know, and I think we shared this on the walk, prior to the day we left, I had never seen the route. I didn't do any of my training on the route. I need you all to know that my brother Brian drove that route several times and was telling me about the different widths of the shoulder and what to expect and what to anticipate. And I truly appreciated that. And I took comfort in the fact that God was surrounding me with people who understood the weight of this vision, but also understood their task, their role to make sure that walking for the scholars of Ascension, walking for Ascension could be the best opportunity possible, and that every detail matters. It's not just the walking, those kind of things matter. And when you're clear about what God has asked you to do, others can get on board because they see how God is using them to fit that role.
Right. I agree with you as far as going ahead on the route and this and that. One thing that kind of stands out to me about that is when Brian, when we were walking, I never felt like we were in danger. I always felt like because we prayed over this route, God knew which way we were going to go. He ordered our footsteps.
Yeah.
I never felt like we were in danger, that we were doing anything that was going to put us in danger. I always felt like the cars would give us a wide kind of a way to go around. The trucks would go around. We would get honks. And almost like it was settled in my heart that God went ahead of me on my drive and set our path. So there was never that anticipation, oh, cars are getting too close or this or that. I always felt very safe.
Sure.
So somebody went ahead of me.
For sure.
For our way.
And one of the things about that, so I want to pick up on being safe. The walk also gave me an opportunity to live out some of my adventure. But my ability to do that, I have desired to be an on-the-scene reporter, and I think I even shared that during the walk. And I was doing some things because I had the luxury, and I want to use that word intentionally. I had the luxury of you being there to be my eyes and ears and a covering, so that I could do some crazier shots or talk a little longer than I probably should, or even give people the opportunity to see how close we were to these trucks and to these. And I know that was kind of probably freaking you out. Not I kind of know, you shared with me. But it was a comfort for me to know that I could still do that and give people on our journey what I wanted to capture, knowing that God had sent you there. And the other comfort to me was just as partners in this walk, we had a commitment to each other, and you made a commitment to Shula that you would keep me safe. And I remember the day we separated, and you spoke into my life, and I received it. But I don't know if I was able to effectively communicate how much I cherish that God put you there for that season, for me to be allowed to have that opportunity to capture that for the scholars, to capture that for Ascension, to capture that for Emmanuel, for people to be, for everybody who was watching on the journey, to be able to see from a different angle.
Yeah. You know what? In the back of my head, I remember that conversation as far as keeping you safe and this and that. And I have to tell you, I felt a little bit kind of like a dad.
Sure.
That you were one of my kids, and I wanted you to enjoy, but at the same time, I wanted to be able to scout out things that could give us some issues or this or that. So, but I also got to watch you walk and watch the smile on your face, and I could see your wheels turning, and it's like, hey, this is an adventure. And I feel like sometimes people think that God is a killjoy, and that we can't have fun and we can't do adventures and this and that. There's nothing farther from the truth.
Yeah.
We have a God that loves adventure and wants to see his kids be adventurous and be bold. There's something about physically exploring and being bold that translates into the spiritual. And we know that we're supposed to be bold and we're supposed to have faith and trust. And the physical sometimes brings that out. I want to make that connection in everything that I do, that we can physically do something and show that there's a spiritual benefit down deep. If we'll find it, if we'll look for it. But I got to watch you. I don't know if you knew I was watching you, but I got to see the smiles on your face, different things that we've seen, whether it was things on the road that we've seen people discard, or it was the fact that the first time we stopped on our first night, we stopped in front of what? Do you remember the building on the left-hand side? The Independent Cat Society?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
we both got a great laugh because we thought, what is an independent cat society?
Right.
Do the cats that are independent need a clubhouse to go to, or what is it?
Yes,
So we
yes,
gotta-
yes.
But, adventure can be fun,
Right.
and we can laugh and share that, and no offense to cat lovers out there.
Right.
But we had a great time.
Yes, yes. And so thinking about that, and I often just am humbled by Emmanuel providing me the opportunity to do this for Ascension. And I don't take that lightly, to just say, here's our pastor, let him go walk for 312 miles for this school.
Are we
for-
gonna go
for
to
Ascension,
Ascension?
Of course, which is near and dear
We're
to
gonna
my
go
heart,
walk?
because my wife is the principal there. But you also have been a part of the Ascension journey almost as long as Sugar and I have. There's a story there as well. But as we took this walk, I guess the question I would have for you is, be it in preparation or the walk itself, what message would you want to send to the scholars of Ascension? What in that journey, just in a life journey, what did the walk, what was something that we could deposit with them to take with them?
Well, the first thing I would say is I am sharing your vision for what Ascension can be. I believe 100% in my heart that this could be, we talked about being a lighthouse. We talked about being an oasis. I'm 100% in. I believe that with all my heart, that the scholars are going to come out of this with incredible knowledge. But I would say to them that there's nothing good that can happen without sacrifice.
Mhm.
There has to be some kind of a hardship that we go through to gain what we want. And I think that this world tells us that we can get what we want with no buy-in.
Yeah.
And that's a lie.
Yeah.
There is going to be sacrifice, but it's going to be good sacrifice, and it's going to be worth it. That's the greatest thing, that there is going to be hardships, but you can get over them. It will make you stronger. So don't be discouraged when you get into something that's difficult, and just enjoy the journey that you go through.
Mhm.
There's profit there.
Yeah. And I love that word. We so often make school, we make life, and unfortunately, we make our relationship with God about a destination and not about the journey. And we miss so much.
Are we gonna go to Ascension?
The joy, as you mentioned earlier, we have come away with this notion that God is a killjoy. We miss so much of God's joy and hope and advancement in our lives because we don't take time to enjoy the journey. And I know I saw the smile, but part of our journey and the joy, which helps you get through the hard times, was, I don't remember the number, how many empty bottles of Fireball that we counted. How many empty vape sticks we counted. Now, on the surface, people will be taken aback because that's an alcoholic drink or that's tobacco. But for us on that journey, it was somewhat of a motivation. How many steps to the next one? And we got to talk about the hardship that one must be facing, that you're experiencing life through this many empty bottles. What is going on in that person's life? And so just enjoying the journey allows you to have a different perspective. It allows you to see people differently.
That's true. You know, you think about it, if you're going down the road and you're going in a train and you're going 90 miles an hour, you get to see things very quickly. If you're in a car and you're going 60, maybe you can pick up a few things. If you're on a scooter, maybe you're going 30 or 40 miles an hour, you might be able to pick up a few more things that are on the road. But when you're walking, you see the details of the road, you see the potholes, you see all the different things, you see the litter, and it makes you think, you know, what kind of person is that is going through that many bottles or vaping, and why are they going to that? So it generates some great conversations, didn't it?
It really did. And I know that we just talked about one of our personal highlights, but our shared personal highlights, but do you have a memorable part of the walk?
I think I don't have one thing that stands out.
Okay.
I liked certain parts of it, just made me smile inside and confirmed that this was the right thing.
Sure.
I think the first one being the funny, the kind of Cats Society was kind of funny.
Yeah.
We got to chuckle and talk about that. A couple of the things that stood out, the second day when we were in the McDonald's in La Paz, Indiana, and we had the meeting with the man that read your mail, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that was confirmation too that we were going the right direction. And God is so good to provide us things that we need on our journey at the right time.
Right.
And there was never a miss opportunity there. That stood out. You know, you asked me at the beginning of this, Brian, what do you want to see out of this? I'm like, well, you know, I'm here for you. That's what I want. Mainly is to walk with you and support you. But he said, well, if you could have just one thing, what would you? I'm like, well, okay. I collect deer sheds, and deer sheds are antlers that fall off generally in February and March. The male deers will lose their rack, and then they'll grow another one. And people hunt them. It's just kind of a thing. It's something that I started doing. So anyway, I told Pastor Brian, I said, if we could find a deer shed, that'd be kind of cool, you know. So that was the last time that I even thought about that. When you said that, it immediately left my mind. And so we went on our journey for, you know, for that 5 days, and it was getting towards the end where we were going to separate. And what happened? We were up on kind of a raised road, and you spotted that deer down there. And this is just a couple miles before the end. And it's just like God. Like just when you think your time's going to be out, we spotted the deer down in the ditch. And it took a little bit of wrangling to get, it wasn't actually a shed, it was a deer that was hit, probably a few weeks before, and just died down in the drainage ditch. So it took a little bit of effort to actually get the antlers off. We had to send Mike, our driver, back to get a hacksaw. And so that whole process of bringing the deer up and sawing it off on the road, but it was neat. I got a smile that was just so big, like, God, you're so good, and your timing is so perfect. That was memorable to me. The different houses that we went by, we talked about the architecture. We talked about Route 6 and the history of Route 6. And we found out the history of the road that we went down used to be an old Indian trail, and that became road years later. And we also found out that Ridge Road actually goes from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. So that was kind of neat knowing that stuff.
Yeah. I vividly remember that last day. And so my highlight to that was to back up, to watch how, and yes, you and Mike and Terry spoke on the phone, but to watch that connection once you all actually were in person, as if you had known each other forever. And that was just such a God moment for me. And to just watch the relationship develop each day and to just see how God orchestrated even that and things that we don't even talk about. And the reason I bring that up was to see Mike's excitement to go get the hacksaw. But I share that to say, when you know somebody else's vision and you see that God is clearly moving in this moment, how others get excited about that vision. And that is what I pray for Ascension, that as we share this story, as we go on this walk, that others catch that vision and have that same excitement. Yours might not be the antler, so to speak, but when you see that somebody else has that vision and God is using you to bring that to life, that should bring that same kind of joy.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, it does. When there's a group of people that share the same passion, share the same vision, I felt immediately connected to Mike. I never got to meet Terry, but I immediately felt connected to Mike and just all of us being together. You know, people talk about that, like how you have instant friendships and there's a bonding there because you've got the same agenda, you know, that you want to do that. So that was, I remember was it the Applebee's in Napanee? Mike ordering the chicken. And
Yes.
That was kind of funny too. That was good.
Yeah.
We got a good laugh out of that.
Yeah, and just knowing, you know, individuals' nuances
Right.
and what's important to them and how seriously they take things. But again, when God puts you in that situation where you have to be a disciple, you have to be that vulnerable. You have to be that intentional. You have to be in that relationship. And I hope that as we take this journey, that's the foundation we're laying for the scholars of Ascension. Take this journey and allow people to be a part of the journey with you. Don't just go through the classes. Don't just go through school. God wants to do so much more in and through Ascension than to just produce a scholar. There's something in that journey, and there are Brians out there who are praying for you, walking for you, who want to be a part of that journey so that you get to experience all that God has in store.
I totally agree. You know, I call it investing in other people's lives and just, you know, pouring into their lives and to look ahead and see, like, if we're gonna do this for Ascension, what's gonna happen 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the road? What impact are they gonna have on society and for the kingdom?
Sure.
That's exciting.
And it was so inspiring to me and such a God moment that here we were on the walk and knowing that that was your desire and your vision. The other desire and vision that you had was to be able to wear shorts. And so we had these conflicting prayers going on because the training for me had been in colder weather. And that's what I was prepared for. And I didn't want it to get hot. And you were praying that it'd be hot. But it was so God to me that on the day that you were leaving, how uncomfortably hot it was. Oh my goodness. That you were able to walk in your shorts.
Yeah.
And that God literally hid that deer. That was not something, if you were driving, you would have seen
Right.
over there
Right.
off the side of the road. You had to be walking, watch this, walking with God, right, in order to see that blessing. And so that was just so exciting and just another lesson to me for the scholars. There are going to be times in your life where you're on a journey and you would want to see God probably a little sooner. It probably would have given you a little more burst of energy had we gotten the antlers day 3, day 4. But God also desires to see your commitment to the journey.
Absolutely.
And so you could just almost hear God, my son, you've been faithful.
Yeah.
Shorts and all, right?
Right.
Here it is. And how often in life do we give up before we reach that point where God says, here you are. And so just for the scholars, just wanting to help ground them with the reality that although the journey may be rough, may be colder than you want it to be, and the heat is coming, the antlers are coming. Just keep walking with God.
Right.
And I pray that that is a message that the scholars get in their own journey.
Yeah, I agree. You know, in my business, one of the things that you have to be kind of a people person. You have to be able to read people. You know, people come to me and they say they want to do this, they want to do that. I like to read in, is there a commitment there? Are you committed to what you
Sure.
are wanting to do?
Sure.
And it doesn't take long before you can see if excuses come out, or maybe the commitment is not 100% or
Sure.
this or that. Part of my goal is to try to kind of reinvent that. Like, maybe you're selling yourself short. Maybe you just haven't been pushed a little bit. So knowing people and how to get them to do something that's uncomfortable.
Sure.
That's part of my bag. That's part of the things that I like to just. But you have to know people, and I know everybody's wound a little bit different. But that's really my heart's desires physically. If I can get somebody to believe in something, and it's not going to come immediately, it might take a while, but it's worth the journey.
Like
And I'll walk with you, like pull-ups, because I have some video of you hanging from a pull-up bar, not being able to move. And I seen today somebody that did some pull-ups with some confidence.
Sure.
Being able to translate that into a young mind is difficult, but it's doable.
Mm-hmm.
And getting people to say the commitment, the hardship that you're going to go through, it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off. So if you can build that foundation at a young age, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing at Ascension. And so that's why we walk, because they're giving them that foundation, and they're grounding them in God's word. And so that's exciting. So I want to ask you, as you are a people person, do you think that part of your walk, part of your journey during this walk, has inspired others to kind of think of what their walk could be, what their journey could be?
You know, I hope so. I hope so, Brian. I hope that the people that I've talked with, I hope the people that have showed interest on Instagram or Facebook, or the people that the YMCA that I'm associated with, I hope they've seen that and said, hey, anything's possible. Yeah, I'm not a young man, but I'm not an old man either. And I think that sometimes we use age as a way to put a ceiling on us, our adventure, so to speak. God made me an adventurer at heart. When I was a little boy, I was very much an adventurer. And when you get to be a grown man, it just becomes magnified in different ways.
Sure.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I've convinced my wife that I can do things safely. And now my desire is to lead others in that too. So, you know, I've prayed about this as far as what this is going to look like, and, you know, how can I share this journey? I'm hoping that people see my life and say, wow, not that I'm some great thing, but that I'm listening to God, and I'm able to walk, or willing to walk, with other people on their journey.
Well, I hope you know, and I need you to know, that the scholars and the staff of Ascension, the family here at Emmanuel, have seen you do that, and know that that is your life, and it has been very inspirational to know that you are willing to walk with others, and to help get attention for Ascension, and to be that model of what it means to submit yourself to what God is asking you to do. And it has been very inspirational. It is inspirational to me. Unfortunately, I think you do know me, and God is using you to pull that out. But I'm grateful for that, because in pulling that out, we get to continue to get attention for Ascension and have these opportunities to be used to help mold and shape lives for the kingdom. And so just very grateful for you being a part of this journey and being willing to be a part of this journey, so that we can mold those minds and continue to support the work that's being done at Ascension.
Well, I think you hit it on the head. I think you instilled in something me a while back, that this is not a one and done. And I totally agree with you. I think that this is going to be an ongoing thing. And seeing what God has got in store for Ascension in the future is very exciting. I don't want to give away too much.
Sure.
There's some things that still need prayer, but I'm not done. I'm invested into Ascension. So I'm very excited, and I want to bring others in too. I want others to share the dream and the passion that we have for Ascension and what it could be like.
Sure.
I'm 100% in.
And I thank you for sharing that. I am very big on people giving up too early. And the number of people who have shared is there a disappointment or a frustration that the dollar figure has not been reached. It has never been about the dollar figure. There's 312 miles from Ascension to Cleveland. I am somebody who goes all in, and I like to dream big because I believe we have a big God.
Yeah.
But in doing that, I am also somebody who is sold out to when Jacob wrestles with God. And in that conversation in Genesis chapter 32, he says to God, I won't let you go until you bless me. Well, if we haven't reached it, that we set out there and believing that God can do it, that means we got to keep going and we don't let go. But so often in life, and this is something that I would love for the scholars to be mindful of. It's not that God is done. We give up because we didn't get it our way or in the time frame we thought we should.
That's true.
Are we willing to hold on? Are we willing to continue to walk? Are we willing to continue to do some other things until that which we've prayed for has happened?
Right.
And so I am very excited that you have articulated, and I am holding on until that blessing comes. And I'm prepared and I'm all in and sold out because it's not a one and done. This is a journey. And so we reached one milestone and we'll keep going.
Right. I totally agree.
Well, thank you for being with us. Thank you for helping us on this journey to continue to get attention for Ascension. Thanks for being a part of our studio today and a part of our conversation. Please don't forget, you can still go to walk312.com for all of your information about the walk. You can still make donations there. And please check out Forge Fitness Solutions with my friend Brian Beard. God's blessings to you, and thank you for being with us.
I understand we might be live. We are approaching Broadway and 49th in Gary, so we will be hanging out here, waiting to meet those who will be walking. It is day 12. We are closing in. You all, earlier, just in case you didn't, want to introduce you to the Skippy supplier, Debbie, who joined me for the last 3 miles. So we are excited about that. We have approached quickly 49th and Broadway, and so we will be hanging out, waiting for our 12:30 final departure time to meet everyone back at Ascension. I think we got it. We are friends officially. Let's see if we can do this. I'm going to try to get you to see it at the corner of Broadway and 49th. We have made it to that destination. Mike is waiting for us at the corner. So we are very excited to have come this close in our journey, and we are, I think you shared with us, what is that, 1.4 miles total. This will be 0.7 for us to finish off. So we're 0.7 miles away from Ascension. And just, again, thank you to everyone for being a part of this journey as we have set out once again to prayerfully walk 312 miles from Cleveland, Ohio to Gary, Indiana. I hope you have had some time to spend with Luke 17:10 and just understand that this is an opportunity that we have just completed our duty, what God has entrusted to us. And so just thinking about what this particular trip has meant and just what a learning curve it has been spiritually, and to see just God at work in every step, and how you begin to trust him for things which you once thought were impossible or even crazy for that point. But as you walk with God, you begin to be sensitive to this fact with one small step, how far you can actually go if you would just take one step. And so just enjoying the fact, just thinking about even how different this journey has been for us and what we have been able to accomplish and share, and where this could potentially be going. And so really, really excited for you all to be a part of the entire journey. And now that we are 0.7 miles away, here on day 12, this last leg. So again, we have made it. So let's see, we can probably try again from here. Maybe you'll see Broadway there at the corner. So we are at Broadway and 49th. Oh. We'll see if Mike wants to check in now that we are at 0.7. Part of my introduction of Debbie the Verso, the Skippy supplier, was that she would not have to talk. And so we will honor that commitment. Anything you want to say? We're at 0.7 mark to the final leg of the journey.
Yep. Thank God. And we could stick a fork in it and say it's done. It was enjoyable, though. It was another learning experience. And God is good, and he brought us on home. So I just thank him for that, and watched over both of us and everybody out there who was driving so Brian could be safe. And so, like, we good. If they drive reckless around here, then we in trouble, because he still got a little bit to go. So, but no, just thank God we made it, and just appreciate his mercy and his grace. Yep.
Amen.
Amen.
So yes, we are on day 12. Uh, we're gonna hang out here till I believe it was 12:30.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I need to know. I can't hear anything. So as long as you can hear me, I'm good. I don't see any questions. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm just going to talk. I don't see any questions. Maisie is super excited to see you. I'm not seeing any questions. I was just checking to see if everybody else could hear you. But if you can hear me and I can't hear you, that's a problem on my end. So
Okay.
we're going to continue on so we can come and see you.
Okay.
And safe travels. I can't wait to hear all that you were just saying.
All right.
Oh, apparently I lost him. Give me just a second. I will get him back. Give me just one moment. I'm still waiting. Maybe he's on. I don't know. All right, continue on.
I thought you were saying you had to go. So I apologize. That was my fault for the disconnect. So yes, we are still on day 12, still at 49th and Broadway, waiting to finish our last zero point 0.7 miles to Ascension Lutheran Christian School. So hopefully, if you have time, you can still make it to hang out with us and celebrate from 1 to 3. at Ascension. We look forward to having you all with us. And so just thinking about just the many ways as we were talking earlier, and as I shared, just the number of people who have just given of themselves and even thought about our home congregation in St. Philip and just their willingness to pause and interrupt their regularly scheduled programming to allow us to be a part of this and sharing that journey as well. And you just think of the countless people who have just prayed for and donated and followed and just been a part of every step of the journey. And it requires all of us, just as when you're walking, it requires every part of the body to be able to make that function. And so just as members of Christ's body, we are all needed to make this function and to continue to walk in support of our scholars and staff at ALCS and the ministry opportunity that is happening there at that school. And so just really thanking God for the moment to be of service and for all of us to be able to say, here we are, Lord, use us in this moment, in this season, on behalf of these scholars and staff. And so what a joy to come alongside each and every one of you to make this happen. And I believe Lisa shared earlier, we, by God's grace, have been able to raise over $12,000 this year. What a blessing for ALCS. And I just thank you all for just showing up in a very powerful way, very humbling and overwhelming to see you just build that community and make this kind of generosity possible. So just thank you to each and every one of you. Again, it is day 12. We have arrived at 49th and Broadway, and we are waiting for people to arrive so we can do the last leg of our 0.7 miles to ALCS. If you have a moment, can take the time to meet us at Ascension, we would greatly appreciate it and love to have you. So we still have a few moments for you to get on board and be a part of that process. Good morning. Good morning. We do have some people arriving. Just a second. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? All right, and you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm following you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you.
Asking all my crazy questions.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm well.
Just want to thank you. Just showing up.
No. I wouldn't be no other place. How you doing, lady? I'm fine. Good.
Excuse me. Yes.
You want to say something? Yeah, I got a camera here.
Okay.
Let me get it together. Make sure we are good to go. Okay, when I do this, we are rolling.
Okay.
Let's see my numbers.
Good afternoon. It is day 12 of our 312-mile journey from Cleveland to Gary, Indiana. By God's grace, we have made it to the corner of 49th and Broadway. We are 0.7 miles away from the home of Ascension Lutheran Christian School in Gary, who we walked for, prayed for, had fun for on this journey of 312 miles. Just thank each and every one of you for being a part of this journey and sowing this seed and watering this seed on behalf of these scholars. It is just humbling to be a part of this, to be a part of watching God use each and every one of you to make this a reality. So thank you so very much, and God's blessings to each and every one of you.
All right. Glad we got that before it started raining.
I brought my umbrella, so
All right.
it won't rain.
I'm gonna hang out with you then. With the umbrella.
Okay, hey, do me a favor. Let
Sure.
me get a shot. No.
Oh.
Thank you. You don't have me to talk. Thank you.
All right.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Shot. I'll get you in the shot.
Oh, yeah, we get him in a shot.
Yeah, come on in. Yeah, come on in. Come on in. Yeah.
Thank you.
How are you? Yeah. Boy, it's good so good to be right here in this spot.
Right.
The fire department did show up. They are coming here.
Oh, wow.
Hobart. Yeah, he had came out ready. Said they're gonna get a smoker truck or something like that. So they're gonna show up here at 12:30.
Wow.
So
Wow.
you got some support. Okay. So did you have any rough territory coming here? Was it pretty straightforward?
Pretty straightforward. Just in terms of travel, just day 2, just I don't remember Vermilion being that hilly. I really don't. But other than that, it was pretty uneventful. Yeah.
Is there anybody else? Yes. Yes, we have.
Why I didn't take off the shirt on?
Okay. So just a reminder, we are on day 12. We are at the corner of 49th and Broadway. We have made it. We have 0.7 miles left to travel. We do have people who have started to arrive to travel down that way. I don't know if you all got to hear, but also heard we possibly will have a fire truck leading with a smoke signal. So excited about that as well. So just watching the excitement as we draw closer to ALCS on this day 12.
I'm never shooting outside.
When you was back at the gas
Oh, we
station,
use this just
I
for
bought 5
shooting some of our.
Wow. Yeah. So again, family, just thank you so very much for your generosity. As Leisha shared earlier, it has been our humble opportunity to raise over $12,000 for the staff and scholars at ALCS. So just thank you for sowing that seed. It is greatly appreciated.
Got the 62. There you go. See?
Hello. How are you? So yes, we will be wrapping up day 12. It has been just an awesome experience, and I hope that throughout this experience you have received the invitation to just take one step and see where God is asking you to find your 312 experience, how you can just humbly glorify Him in everything that you do and everything that you say. And we can find that joy. And it has been a joy being with you all and developing this community and just seeing us come together every day for something bigger than ourselves on behalf of somebody else. And so just thank you. Probably on that side because we're gonna head back to the school. No, we're going back to the school. Yes, thank you. Well, dear friends, we got the Lake Ridge Fire Department, so very excited to see them show up with the escort. And so you're in one of these weather situations where here becomes your wrestle. You have your raincoat and rain gear in your backpack, and it looks like it's about to rain. But if you put it on and it doesn't, do you want to change your body temperature for 0.7 miles? And so those are the kind of decisions you have to make and wrestle with or on this journey of 312 miles. So we're at about 12:21, and we're gonna be getting ready to walk to ALCS, our final 0.7 miles for the scholars. And it does appear that it is going to probably be a walk in the rain. But as you remember my invitation to us, it is not how the weather is. It doesn't matter what the weather is. It all depends on how you're dressed. And so we just thank God for this moment and this opportunity to be able to walk on behalf of the scholars and staff, ALCS. Just want to thank you very much for doing this.
No problem. Glad we could get guys together.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes, at 12:30.
Where's he at right now?
I'm right here.
Oh, you're doing it?
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah.
12:30 we'll take off?
12:30 we'll take off. We'll take off at 12:30. Huh?
I thought they were going to drive here and walk there.
Oh, wow.
Are people walking here or driving? Oh. That's the be a time issue. No, they right there.
Well, we'll meet them on the way.
You're gonna meet them on the way?
Yeah, we'll meet them on the way.
Yeah. Maybe that's something like that. I can't tell. Okay, because she says a couple of cars coming down here with people living. That's it? The fire truck's over there. Fire truck's over there.
Good morning. All right. Or good afternoon.
Yeah. I don't see him coming. He's checking out.
I don't know.
Well, sir,
How are you?
I'm good. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you.
Job well done.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
How are you? All right, you.
All right.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. How are you?
You made it
Thank
all
you.
wild. Follow you all this long way.
Yeah.
All right now. You did all right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Glad you had this.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Good thing. God bless you all the way on, all the way through.
Yes.
Get
Yes.
on back to here.
Right. Right.
All right.
No, I was just going to see somebody else. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm a great man just in case.
Right.
We hoping the poor down gonna hold off before God got us. Hold
Yeah.
off until we cross that finish line.
Right.
We over there trying to get in the car.
Well, family, in about 2 minutes, we will be stepping off to complete our journey on day 12. We'll be leaving 49th and Broadway, and we are headed to Ascension. All right. You ready, sir? All right. You all ready? Let's go. I'll walk the street. Thank you. Thank you. We are headed to ALCS. Family, you've been amazing. You have been amazing. I thank each and every one of you for seeing this vision, sowing this seed. The scholars and staff, thank you. And just once again, just you have allowed God to use you. We have cheerleaders. How you all doing? Good are you? How you doing? What's up, dude? How are you?
What's up there? Yeah. Congratulations.
Is the principal at ALCS,
Hello.
my wife, Stephanie Reeves.
Pastor.
How are
Hey,
you?
man, not bad. Thank
All right.
you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your work. Keep on walking.
Thank-
I don't want
thank
to stop
thank
anything.
you.
I'll walk with you a little while. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How was the trip? Looks like you're stronger.
It's been very humbling.
I can just about imagine.
Just to watch God's people
Yes, sir.
sow this seed for the next generation.
Yes, sir. How old are you, Pastor?
I'm 47.
Okay. Amen. Amen. I'm 58 myself.
Okay.
I'll be 59 this year. You grew up in this community?
Actually, we are from Cleveland.
Okay.
My first call
Mhm.
was to this community.
Amen.
And actually, I had the opportunity to serve the congregation.
Hey, how you doing, honey? Good, good. Give Pastor some love, too. Just got in from Ohio.
I had the privilege of serving in Gary for my first call.
Okay.
And one of the congregations we helped out was Our Savior, which is now home to the school,
Sure.
where my wife is now the principal.
Okay.
And so just our way of allowing God to use us.
Uh-huh.
Would you by chance introduce yourself?
Pastor, this is Mayor Jerome Prince saying hello to all your supporters. Thank you, sir. And listen, I'm out here to support you today. And so thank you for all of your efforts for not only the people of this city, but I think what you're doing should serve as an inspiration to people all over the world. Last month, we celebrated World Civility Day right here in Gary. It was actually established in Gary by the director of the Chamber of Commerce, Chuck Hughes. But the point is that especially in a day like today, when we see so many examples of people being uncivil, the work that you do, again, pointing back to your efforts, should go a long way. And on behalf of the city and all of its officials and residents, I'm out here with you to just say we support you, we love you, and we thank you for all of your efforts.
And we love the support.
Yes,
and
sir.
the school wants to be a support to the city in all of its efforts.
Sure,
and
sure.
to just be here and to serve.
Amen. Amen.
And that's what this is about.
Absolutely. When we complete this, I'm going to give you my phone number,
Okay.
and I'd love to connect with you after you have a moment to rest.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
Just really grateful for your willingness to show up and be a part of this journey with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Had you been back or at that point where we took off, or had you been there long?
We were waiting about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is tremendous.
So just really excited to be able to be that servant and watch the community come together to help sow this seed. The school is in its infancy,
Sure.
and just in this season, wanting to be a part of the change.
Sure. I think you described it best when you said that it's for you personally. Hello, how are you? This gentleman just got back from Ohio. It's Pastor.
Thank you.
Yeah, humbling. And to me, that's a testament to your true intentions here. You're not looking for any glory, certainly looking to share your perspective and your compassion. And I would imagine that you're hoping and praying that reverberates.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and just people willing to show up and walk with you.
Sure.
Sure.
Sure. It's like we've got quite a few people here and some more coming, I'm sure.
Right.
So where are we? How far are we walking down?
To the corner of 49th and Pierce, 1150 West 49th.
Okay. Is that your church?
That's where Ascension Lutheran Christian School is.
Excellent. So this effort again is for the school.
For the school.
To build a new school.
And so how it started, actually, my wife there.
Okay. Hello, wife. Good.
Is
Not
the
bad.
principal.
Amen.
And
Thank
so
you.
last year, to celebrate, it was my 15th year in ministry.
Okay.
And it's a new school that was started. They asked her in 2019 to be the principal.
Okay.
And so, by God's grace, in the middle of a pandemic,
tell me about it. I understand
right,
that very well.
she was able to allow the school to experience some growth.
Okay.
And my son is right next to her. Our daughter, our grandson is a kindergartner there. And I share all of that to say, my family has been the backbone of my ministry journey. And so how do you celebrate 15 years?
Sure.
And I knew that, as a young school, how do I give back and sow a seed into them? And so to celebrate our journey, I walked from Ascension to our home in Ohio.
How about that?
And then this year, the reverse.
So now you got me a little curious.
Sure.
How long did it take you to make that trek?
12 days.
12 days? That
Yes.
wasn't bad. You were running, literally.
Hey, how's it going?
How
yes,
are you?
sir. Yes, sir.
Pastor, what's your last name again?
Reeves.
This is Pastor Reeves from Ascension School.
Thank you.
And so just the opportunity to just be of service,
Sure.
12 days has meant the world to the scholars and staff there. It just becomes a little sacrifice when you have people showing up and building that community.
Sure. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to connecting with you afterwards. Without question, one of the things that we aspire to do here in this community is to attract new residents, as well as provide the necessary services for our residents here. But relative to new residents, one of the factors that certainly would help spur that is the access to good education.
Sure.
As you know.
Sure.
So definitely a lot of room to realize there. I'm enjoying this walk myself, Pastor. This is probably the most I've gotten exercise in the last 3 years. I lived in this community.
Sure.
And still have a home here. My son's in that home now, but the point is grew up here, lived here. My wife and I got married right out of high school, so I've been married 40 years.
Sure. Congratulations.
4 sons, 11 grandchildren, and we ride our bikes through this community often.
Yeah.
So, something that I missed for a second. But yeah, looking forward to getting back to it.
Sure.
Are these some of your parishioners here?
They are. Now, the funny thing is,
It's a big smile, I can tell.
Lisa does our streaming, so she is watching us.
She's watching us right now.
Watch us come to her.
Watch her. Hey, everybody.
And
Hi, Lisa. How are you? Hello, sir.
that is Maisie,
I'm
our comfort
wonderful.
dog,
Thank
and that
you.
is
Thank
Larry.
you.
He helps with all
That
of
is
our
a
technology
beautiful
as well.
dog. Nice to meet you, Lisa.
Nice to meet you as
Thank
well.
you. Looks like they're happy to see you, Pastor.
Really, the family that has been built here, and again, the joy for us is this isn't something we started, but it's been entrusted to us in this season. And how do you water it for the next generation, and allow folks to know that anything worth having is worth working for.
Sure. Hey, good morning. Yes, sir. With Pastor Reeves here.
How are
sir.
you? How are you?
Yeah, I can relate to that as well, Pastor.
Sure.
I like to summarize it as completing an assignment,
All right.
you know, that God has given us, and it's our responsibility. Hello, everybody.
How are you?
Looks
How are
like
you?
they're really happy to see you, Pastor.
Yes. And so, as you can see, the crowd is growing, and Lisa is watching us watch them. And so, really, just planting that seed. And you hear the reaction.
Absolutely.
It's not about you.
Hello, everybody.
How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you?
Good.
How you doing?
So, Pastor, where's your church?
My church is actually in Richton Park, Illinois.
Okay.
Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Richton Park. And that has been the joy to watch
Sure.
our congregation. And as I shared at the start of this journey, how humbling it is to watch them give of themselves so that we can take this journey on behalf of Ascension in Gary.
Absolutely.
God's people have to come together.
Yes.
We don't have to make this about border wars, about race wars. Can we just be of service?
Absolutely.
And you're seeing that take place. And so just really, really humbled to be able to be a part of their journey and their story.
Absolutely. Morning.
More?
Guess it's afternoon by now.
Right. It's afternoon by now. And so really just grateful. My wife and I have a journey. We were raised in schools like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so what better way to continue to sow a seed to make sure that somebody else knows that they can have that opportunity.
Absolutely. It's all about giving back. To me, that's the true sense of compassion.
Sure.
You're wanting for everyone else what you want for yourself, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
And so just sowing that seed and watching the kingdom expand, and all God is asking us to do is walk.
Amen.
Just take a step.
Sure.
And all of us have that journey. What is your next step?
That's a nice analogy, and certainly with. Did you count your steps at all?
I did not. I try not to focus on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, just sure, man. I was just a good, not bad. All right. Well, you're back home.
Back home.
Back home.
And you begin to see the community that you all have built.
Good morning. Pastor, I'm going to share my phone number with your son.
Thank you.
Please contact me anytime you get settled down.
Thank you.
I'd love an invitation to your church, so share the address with me, and I'll be there, okay?
Yeah.
On behalf of my family and everybody, we appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Hello there. How are you?
Everybody else be never said what.
We have made it, family. We have made it. God's blessings to all of you.
Congratulations, Pastor Brian.
Thank you. I was just looking to make sure.
Really proud of you. Hello, wonderful.
Are you happy too? Good job, May.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
We made it.
Wait a minute. I get it now. Yeah, I was thinking of another kid. Now tell me your name.
Yes.
That's why your name's familiar. I get it.
And there is Mike.
Yeah, Mike! Woo!
How are you? All right,
Yes. Yeah.
We did it! We did it! Casey.
Thank you. How are you?
All right, Pastor Brian, is there anything else you want to say before we let the stream go?
How are you?
Really?
I don't know if you can hear me. I got her.
You got her? Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, May.
How are you? How are you? Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Just let them know.
Stephanie, you know I take every
How you doing?
opportunity. Pastor. Oh, wow. Yep, this is good. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Lisa?
Pastor Brian, anything else you want to say to the stream before we let it go?
Congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you for this journey. Thank you for all of the love, the prayers, and support you have shown out once again for the scholars and staff at ALCS. We love you. God's blessings to you. I am the walking pastor. I'm back. 312 more miles. Let's go. Last year, we walked from Gary, Indiana to Cleveland, Ohio. This year, we're reversing the route. The goal is the same, $3,120,000, one step at a time. Cleveland is where my ministry journey began. Gary is the home of Ascension Lutheran Christian School, whose scholars we are walking to support. Last year, we asked and you responded. Because of your generosity, we were able to fund academic support, and we have seen test scores rise. We were also able to address much needed building repairs. Seeing where God took us last year, the journey for these scholars continues this year. We walk Monday, April 17th at 5 a.m. Follow us live at 8, 11, and 3. At 3:12 every day, we will gather for prayer. At walk312.com, you will be able to not only follow the journey, you will be able to donate and purchase your walking gear. All proceeds go to support the scholars at Ascension Lutheran Christian School. Let's go.